Good evening and welcome to the Citizens Association of Georgetown's 2021 Annual Meeting. I am Tara Secreta Parker, CAG's president, and I'm excited to be here at our beautiful new headquarters located on 30th Street and the historic C&O Canal. For the first time in 143 years, CAG has a permanent place to call home, thanks to the generous bequest from the estate of Michael and Beverly Sullivan. We have an interesting program tonight, but before we dive in, I want to take a moment and reflect on the meaningful work and connection that CAG has shared with our community this past year. Since we last met in September, it has truly been inspiring to see the CAG team jump into action, delivering process improvements, updating tired technologies, discovering new and better ways of communicating, and landing on 2 new homes, our new website and our new building. In 2020, we committed to providing dynamic, engaging programming for our members, adopting an easily accessible virtual programming model with some fascinating speakers. We launched our long-anticipated new digital home, a much improved website, introducing a brand new look for CAG that brought us into the digital 21st century. And we moved to a new townhome on the canal that provides a permanent foothold, ensuring the safekeeping of CAG's legacy and a welcoming space for all of you. Each day, we as CAG leaders and staff focus on significant issues affecting the Georgetown community. We collaborate with other nonprofits and governmental agencies to solve problems on behalf of our neighbors and our neighborhood. A few examples include advocating for the removal of the crane from the blighted 3000 M Street site, monitoring and informing residents about the BID's sidewalk widening project, and participating in a task force reviewing proposed liquor license legislation and its potential impacts on our neighborhood. CAG is a conduit for residents to voice their ideas, concerns, and opinions on major issues, and we strive to amplify your voices in the community. Our CAG committees have been hard at work, and we will be hearing updates from our volunteer committee chairs tonight. Councilmember Brooke Pinto will also share an update on Ward 2, and Mayor Bowser will be joining us live to speak about the state of DC and answer our questions. I'm proud to introduce CAG's new Executive Director, Gloria Hausman, who started with us in January and who will share some exciting announcements. Thank you all for joining us tonight.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Tara. Hi and welcome. I'm Gloria Hausman, a resident of Georgetown and CAG's new Executive Director. For over 140 years, and as the oldest citizens association in the country, CAG has been serving the community by connecting and engaging the people who love our historic neighborhood. Although this past year has been challenging, CAG has been revitalized, moving in a direction that is resilient, dynamic, and forward-thinking. Continuing on this success, I am thrilled to announce that we have many new and extraordinary initiatives that we'll be introducing in the near future. This fall, we'll be launching our new digital newsletter. This interactive and insightful newsletter will connect you to your neighbors and community more than ever before. Please keep an eye out for this vibrant and regularly updated publication. Additionally, we will be continuing our engaging and thought-provoking programming. Also, we'll be reintroducing special community-driven events, which will bring us back together to celebrate after these challenging times. Soon we'll be announcing some exciting events coming to Georgetown this fall. And finally, our most exciting announcement, our new online membership portal. Each member of CAG will have access to their own membership information in real time through a completely secure, password-protected website login. This membership portal will give you direct access to your donation history, membership status, and various other information that pertains to CAG. We can't wait for you to see it. We are looking forward to this upcoming year at CAG. As your executive director, I want to thank each and every one of you for loving our neighborhood and being a member of this community-driven organization.
Some of you will remember that a year ago when I gave this report, I was a little concerned about the situation because we had just entered into the pandemic period and we were pretty much running a monthly deficit with deficits on the horizon for as far as we could see. And we were quite anxious about whether we would, by the end of the year 2020, be able to meet our budget and avoid having a negative year. In order to do that, we needed a lot of community support and we needed any other support we could get. As it turned out, I am happy to report that for the year 2020, we ended up with just about a perfect break-even situation. We did get substantial community support toward the end of the year. And we are very grateful for everybody who contributed and supported us in other ways, enabling us to continue doing all the programs and providing the services that we provide in the same manner and at the same level that we have done historically. So it was, in fact, that community support, plus, I must add, the PPP loan that we were able to secure last year that was forgiven at the end of the year that put us in a position to have a very, very slight surplus for the year 2020. And our cash balance for that year ended up being significant enough to give us great comfort that looking into 2021, we could breathe a little more easily going forward, still not knowing exactly where we would be. Now we have a picture for the first quarter of 2021, and happily it's a much better picture than we had a year ago. We are managing to operate on roughly a break-even basis month to month now. CAG headquarters runs a little bit of a deficit every month. Public safety is doing very well. Trees is holding its own. Overall, I think our position for the first quarter of this year certainly is very sound. Our cash balance has even increased a little bit, so we can breathe even a little more easily. We have secured a second PPP loan, and we have decided that if it turns out that we end up at the end of the year without the need for that money, we will in fact repay the loan rather than keep the proceeds, assuming it would otherwise be forgiven. But that's to be determined at the end of the year, not now. At any rate, in order to continue doing what we were able to do last year, we will of course need your continued support, and we are very anxious to secure that. We appreciate everything all our CAG members have done. We will be making a major effort, as you'll hear, to increase the membership, and we very much appreciate the community support that we have at this time. And I am therefore very pleased to say that CAG is in a very comfortable financial position at this time. Thanks.
I'm Karen Wheeler, and I'm the development chair. My husband Scott and I have lived in Georgetown for 5 years, and frankly, we love it. We love when people come and visit us and we can show them around, and we are so proud of where we live. And I think Georgetown is such a unique place, and CAG is really part of what keeps Georgetown unique, and that's why I volunteer. So first off, let me say thank you. Thank you for donating to us, especially during a pandemic. You and only you are what sustains us, so thank you. There were big changes that happened last year. Our biggest, of course, is the legacy gift by Michael and Beverly Sullivan. We now finally have a place to call home. And that has motivated us to grow CAG. Not just in membership, but to grow CAG in a way that we do more for our community and we do more for you. So we want to bring us together with events. We want to educate and entertain us with programming. We want to fight for the historical integrity of Georgetown, meanwhile, of course, sustaining the safety and beautification of our neighborhoods. So while we want to grow, we need your help for that, of course, both in finances and donation of time as well. So this year we are launching a growth campaign, and this will give us our opportunity to honor CAG's 143-year legacy, 143 years. So that'll set the stage for our future, and we invite you to join us in that with your time, your talents, and your treasure. And we also want to get us together with an event in October because we really want to be together again, right? More details with that will follow, but that will also give you an opportunity to enhance the place that we call home. So with your help, we want to continue to provide a vibrant and a connected community so that we can continue loving where we live.
People often say, I want to volunteer and give back. It's an easy thing to say, but many of us don't know where to begin. So I'm going to make it easy for you. Go to our website and sign up to become a CAG volunteer. Better yet, invite a loved one, neighbor, or friend to volunteer with you. As a member and volunteer for CAG, your connection to our community will renew immediately. You will be plugged back in with opportunities to lend your unique skills and knowledge to the work that makes Georgetown such a special place to live. Ours is a village filled with leaders, experts, hobbyists, artists, and more. Whatever your vocation or avocation, there is probably a committee or a group within CAG that will leverage your unique gifts for a greater good. And if there isn't a group or committee that seems like the right fit, now is the time to create it. CAG's infrastructure has been modernized over the past year, and we are ready to continue innovating. Bring your volunteer spirit and bring your ideas for beautification, historic preservation, educational programs, public safety, social and hobby groups, and more. So visit our website at cagtown.org and sign up under the Volunteer tab. I look forward to hearing from you and beginning our work together. We are sitting outside at CAG's new home on our beautiful back patio, and I'm here with Betsy Eames, a longtime dedicated volunteer. Betsy, you have been involved with Trees for Georgetown for almost 20 years?
That's right, yeah, just about.
So tell me, why do you do what you do? Why do you volunteer and give as much time as you give?
Well, I think it's a worthy cause. I've retired from 30 years at the World Bank, and I come from a family of volunteers. My mother and sisters always volunteered, and I think it's something that we owe back to the community. And I'm a gardener. I became a master gardener when I left the World Bank, and I wanted to do something with that. But I found out that trees and gardening were nothing alike. And Casey Trees had just started. And so when they asked me to head up Trees for Georgetown, I really knew nothing about trees. And so I immediately called Casey and went down there and took their tree courses. And ran into lots of people from the U.S. Botanic Garden that were lecturers, and I had just finished my volunteer stint there. And that's how I really got to know Mark Buscano and to sort of have an in with Casey Trees. And, you know, we couldn't have had Trees for Georgetown without Casey Trees.
Yeah, they've been an amazing support and sponsor of CAGs. We're so grateful to them and to you for being a super volunteer, Betsy.
Well.
You're inspiring. So you talked about Casey Trees. We also have other partners that we use at Trees for Georgetown, and Becky Schwartz is a name that comes to mind. Tell us a little bit about Becky, why we should know
Well,
her.
our other partner is the Urban Forestry Division of DDOT.
Okay.
And Becky is an arborist, certified arborist with UFD. And she's fairly recently come to Georgetown, but she is one of our greatest resources. She is just terrific. And call her up. She is so responsive. You can call or email her, and if you don't hear from her right away, you'll hear from her the next day.
That's great.
And she knows the regs in and out, and she would really rather help you get through the regs rather than saying, no, you can't do this or that. She's just terrific.
That is helpful. That's helpful.
It is, and she'll come to your house. And if you've got large trees in your backyard or garden that you want to do something with, I hate to say take down, but she'll help you out with that. And neighbors, you know, that have trees hanging over other neighbors' property, all sorts of things, not just the street trees,
Right.
which are so important.
And how many street trees are there in Georgetown?
Well, I know there are over 3,000 tree boxes. That was when I started, and they've added more.
And how many of those trees have you and Trees for Georgetown been responsible for?
Maybe 2,500.
2,500 trees.
Yep.
Really an accomplishment. And it really makes Georgetown such a special and beautiful place to live.
Well, and it's so nice that the community is really joining in too. And especially this year, I think because they were at home with COVID, when we gave them their letters of how to take care of their trees and neighbors helping each other, I think more of them read it than ever did before, because sometimes they just toss them. And we got a lot of comments from that.
Great. That's wonderful. Well, I've heard that the cicadas are coming once every 17 years.
That's right. I think this is generation 10, and you know they don't attack, but they affect the young trees. And before we planted our trees this year, I had a long conversation with Casey Trees, and because I was worried about planting new trees this spring, because the moms make slits in the new branches and plant the eggs, and then when they're born, they jump out and go back underground. Fortunately for us in the cicadas, Georgetown's such an urban area. There's so much foot traffic and so much vehicular traffic and not a lot of open earth. And so most likely we're not going to be terribly affected by it. And they really recommended that we go ahead and do our spring planting.
All right, so we're moving full speed ahead.
And I'd again like to thank Casey Trees for giving us our trees and the labor of the planting. When they found out, you know, we didn't have a fundraiser like everybody else. And we don't know if we're going to be able to have a fundraiser this year either. And so I really would like to ask for support, any support folks can get, because if we don't get some more money, I'm not sure we're going to be able to have a tree planting this year.
Yeah, it's such an important part of CAG and an important part of our community. So,
and the environment and climate change. And
absolutely, absolutely. Well, Betsy, it's always a pleasure talking to you. And thank you for all that you do for CAG and for Georgetown and helping keep our neighborhood beautiful. We are grateful for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm here with the co-chairs of the Public Safety Program, John Rensepitz, who's on our board, and Richard Hines, who is our general counsel. And CAG's Public Safety Committee is a very important part of CAG, and I'm so glad to have both of them here today to talk about it. So let's first talk about the block captain program. Tell me a little bit about it. You've had great success this year.
It's been a terrific program. It's really energized, I think, the community to be part of the effort to make Georgetown a safer place. And we have been very successful in expanding the program from, I think, a fair number of blocks of Georgetown, on the order of 50, and we just expanded it to 90 plus block captains. I don't have the precise number, but we're still looking for block captains for the few blocks that we have not yet covered. And it's been a very successful program in terms of getting public safety information out to the members of Georgetown, of CAG, and people who are not. We provide information to anyone who's interested in being on our mailing list, and we're very, it's a very important effort to provide information on crime and statistics and where crimes have occurred, which is very important for people to know whether there's a crime wave occurring on their block or in Georgetown. And John has been very instrumental in being the conduit of that information that we get from the police.
Well, while I do send out information to the block captains, I have to say that Florence Alt is the person behind the scenes who's expanded the program. She's been an advocate of the program for many years as a block captain herself. So we're very fortunate to have her stewarding it, and she was assisted this year by Catherine Shaw, who is or was our public safety coordinator, and she has, as some of you may know, she has stepped down from the program and retired, but we're very grateful for all that she has done for the program over the years, and we will definitely miss her presence.
Yeah. The two wonderful people and of such service to the Public Safety Committee. So tell us about the expanded patrols that are happening. What can neighbors expect?
We expanded the patrol, which was at that time a security patrol by unarmed but uniformed security officers. We expanded that from 5 to 7 days a week, and we also had exercised the ability, because of the ability of our provider of services, to increase the coverage to provide more than one officer patrolling Georgetown when we had a period of protest march or something else where we thought that there might be a repeat of what happened in May.
Right, that's very true, and all of this couldn't have been possible without all of our wonderful supporters of the public safety program, because all of these programs within the public safety segment of CAG are paid for exclusively by donations through residents of Georgetown, and as well as some strong business supporters. So we thank them for their fantastic support over the years, and we're looking forward to some new initiatives in 2021, including some new technology with some cameras that we're excited about. So stay tuned for an update in 2021, and we'll look forward to sharing what we have in store.
That's great. John, you have worked in close collaboration with the MPD, and I know you've actually received awards and been honored by them. Tell us a little bit about how CAG's public safety coordinates with MPD in that relationship.
Well, since I've been on board with public safety, I've worked closely with the 2nd District Commander and other people within that department, some captains and lieutenants, and the relationship, I feel, has gotten stronger over the last few years, and there are several lieutenants and captains, as well as Commander Bedlian, who are always available for conversations or emails, and they're very good at sending out information to me to forward on to the community, including information about sexual assaults or carjackings, and as well as a murder, and they keep us in the loop. They can't always do that because they do have higher priorities, but they're very good at getting that information, and when they don't, they're quick to respond to me with updates on any questions I have, and I really value their relationship to CAG, and we really appreciate what they do for us. There are talks of reducing police forcing in Washington, D.C., and that will often lead to reduced coverage in Georgetown and other neighborhoods. So we made a strong appeal to both Councilmember Pinto and then to the larger council and the mayor to not reduce the funding for policing in Washington, D.C.
Well, thank you both for your volunteer service to CAG. Many years that you've given back, and we are grateful for you. So thank you for sharing an update tonight.
Hi, I'm Susan DeBar, Vice President of CAG. Wow, what a fulfilling year we've had here at CAG. COVID has presented unimaginable challenges everywhere, including our beloved Georgetown. But with extraordinary circumstances comes opportunity. This year, our board leadership took time to work internally and has begun to execute impactful changes in communications, operations, strategic vision, and membership value. Without our leadership and volunteer board members, none of this would be possible. As the CAG nominating committee chair this year, I'm pleased to inform you that we have a talented slate of dedicated CAG members selected to run as officers and board members. As a volunteer board member myself, I can assure you that we work earnestly to execute CAG's mission that was established over 140 years ago. Tomorrow, we will be emailing each of you your ballot containing this year's slate of officers and board members. Due to COVID, we will once again be holding the election virtually online, just as we did last year. Please be on the lookout for an email from us containing your ballot, and just a reminder to please check your spam folders. Voting for board members is an integral membership benefit. Please cast your vote by completing the ballot that will be emailed to you. Voting will be open from tomorrow until May 28th. Your participation in this election and continued support in CAG is vital to keeping us connected and caring for Georgetown as a place we all love to call home.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Rahm, a CAG board member, and I have the distinct pleasure of being able to thank 3 dedicated Georgetowners as they finish their board service with us. First is Paige Strawn, who is our programs chair. She took CAG into the virtual realm. She was able to get us together when it was impossible to gather together. She somehow figured out a way to do an electronic election. She has produced these wonderful year-end programs. She worked on some virtual programs throughout the year that were really, really interesting. I think CAG has learned a lot from her, and we'll use these lessons going forward. And Paige, we're very grateful for your service. Next is Jerry Libin, a longtime CAG supporter. In fact, a supporter of a lot of organizations in Georgetown. Jerry's been our treasurer for the last 3 years. He has shepherded CAG's finances through a really tough pandemic and through a really exciting major gift donation that helped us buy this beautiful new home from the gift from the Sullivans. Jerry, we are very grateful for your service. And finally, Pam Moore, our fearless leader for the last decade or so. Pam has worked for our community and has really made Georgetown a better place for all of us. She founded the Friends of Rose Park. She came over to CAG and chaired our Historic Preservation Committee. She served as CAG president twice. She's working with me at Georgetown Heritage while we revitalize this mile of the canal here in Georgetown. She's a volunteer extraordinaire. Pam, I'm really grateful for your mentorship, and we all thank you for your service. And thanks for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you all out and about.
Hi and good evening. I'm Karen Murphy. I think I can safely say that we're on this call tonight because we all love Georgetown. We know how very special this place is, with its historical relevance and unique blending of residential, retail, parks, and significant tourist sites. The Citizens Association of Georgetown is committed to ensuring that our community stays safe, beautiful, and is represented within the District of Columbia on issues which affect us all. As a volunteer and the chair of the membership committee of CAG, I can tell you that membership matters for all of those reasons, and now more than ever. We launched our new membership campaign in February, and we had a wonderful response to the Door Hanger Initiative. Thanks to all of you who joined as a result of that. For those of you who have belonged to CAG all along, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Without your continued support, CAG could not continue its good works in the community. And for those of you who may not have joined yet, I hope that you will consider to do so soon. You will hear tonight that brilliant and innovative things are happening at CAG, and including, as part of the new membership campaign, we will be launching benefits, events, and opportunities exclusively for CAG members. There will be something for everyone. So please look for that information in the next few weeks. Finally, I hope you'll consider volunteering. Volunteering with CAG, whether it be my committee or another, is a great way to stay involved and stay informed, and also meet neighbors from the neighborhood that you love, our Georgetown. We are stronger together. Thank you and have a great evening.
Good evening, everyone. I am Brooke Pinto, your Ward 2 Council member, and it is my pleasure to once again welcome you all to the Georgetown Citizens Association's annual meeting. Just as last year, a swift but socially and economically sustainable recovery is on the horizon. Although the current global health pandemic has been at the top of all of our hearts and minds, at this time last year, the end of the pandemic was nowhere in sight. However, thanks to the leadership of our mayor and the hardworking collaboration of all of our executive agencies and the consistent, strong advocacy from our council and many of you, more and more of the district's residents and workforce are being vaccinated every single day. As time progresses, the vaccines are becoming easier and easier to receive, which is making our desire to safely reopen our city a reality. To ensure that Georgetown, Ward 2, and all of DC is not only able to weather this storm, but prepared for a reopening and post-pandemic world. And as we prepare for this time, I have begun to introduce legislation that I believe will help us achieve this goal. In terms of providing much needed support for our small business community, a great need for Georgetown, I've introduced the Great Streets Amendment Act, legislation which, if passed, would bring the District of Columbia's Great Streets program right here to Ward 2, enabling eligible businesses to qualify for business grant funding made available through our Department of Small and Local Business Development. Here in Georgetown, that means an expansion of the Wisconsin Avenue Great Streets corridor in Ward 3, all the way down to Water Street in Georgetown. It will also benefit corridors in Logan Circle, Main Street, 14th Street corridors, Chinatown, DuPont Circle, the Golden Triangle, and downtown. In my budget priorities letter to the mayor, I also included support for the myriad of social services and public safety needs that are so fundamental to our goals here in the district. In my letter, I supported the Way Homes campaign $100 million ask to end chronic homelessness in the District of Columbia, an issue I know is very important to many Georgetown residents and neighbors. I requested around $200 million for public housing repairs, housing vouchers, and rental and utility assistance for our low-income individuals and families, senior citizens on fixed incomes, and LGBTQ youth, and the operation of an LGBTQ plus resource and youth center. As it pertains to public safety, I requested an allocation of an additional $11 million in the upcoming budget to expand the Attorney General's Cure the Streets program, which helps to reduce gun violence through a public health-based approach across our city. And I have expressed my support for the mayor's $15 million investment in Building Blocks DC, a new program that will complement our existing efforts by focusing on gun violence prevention in 150 particular city blocks, and engage individuals who are most at risk of becoming a victim or perpetrator of gun violence. And we know that crime anywhere in our city affects our entire city. And so it's imperative that we address these root causes. While placing our money where our mouth is and making investments in all of these areas is critical, my team and I realize that there is also an immediate need to address these matters and work on a daily basis to put all available government and nonprofit resources in front of our residents and stakeholders who are focused on these specific issues. For example, I have really enjoyed the opportunity to meet with the Georgetown Ministry Center and Washington Legal Clinic for the Homeless to help amplify their messages around supports for our neighbors experiencing homelessness and the direct supports they provide. I am frequently in touch with the Department of Human Services to address matters concerning housing encampments and mental health supports. My office also provided members of the public with this information during our Homelessness Solutions Town Hall last fall, a forum to which we invited the Ward 2 community to ask questions of our district government professionals and learn about the government and nonprofit resources and support that's currently available. In terms of immediate actions we have taken to address public safety concerns, I've instructed my team to work very closely with the District Department of Transportation and increase the amount of lighting we've seen along Water Street, as well as having a well-lit area does not only make us feel safe, but it also deters bad actors. In the past year, my office conducted our first round of public safety walks in Ward 2, and I've participated in community ride-alongs with MPD to get a firsthand look at our public safety needs in real time. I care deeply about issues surrounding homelessness, affordable housing, and public safety, and I understand in great detail how these matters impact all Ward 2 residents and our small business community. Please rest assured that my office will continue to prioritize these areas and bring supports to all of our neighbors in need. This year, we are also seeing emphasis on the importance of and a strong desire for increased federal investment and local investment in transportation and infrastructure projects here in DC and across the country. Given the many effects of climate change and our overall goals of becoming greener and more safe, more sustainable, I took the opportunity to highlight some priorities that would help get us there, which is why in my budget requests, I supported a $10 million request for restoration and development work at the Georgetown Canal, a project that would protect the neighbors, visitors, and businesses in Lower Georgetown in the event of flooding. I also believe it will help support tourism and our small businesses by having a new visitor center. I've requested $12 million for the purchase and conversion of the former gas station across the Francis Scott Key Bridge to bring an electric vehicle charging station to Georgetown, the first of its kind in the city. In addition, this would provide the space needed to hopefully in the future establish a gondola taking us across the Potomac River. And for this reason, I requested $2 million for an environmental impact study. If that study demonstrates that the most cost-effective green transportation options for our residents and commuters is a gondola, then I aim to work with my council colleagues to launch the gondola project and provide not only greener transportation options, but provide economic opportunities for small local businesses and district residents. I also requested the full funding of the Benning Road Trash Transfer Modernization Station. Conditions faced by the Department of Public Works employees due to structural damage sustained by the building are really inhabitable and abhorrent, and it would allow for a more efficient trash transfer operation for our residents citywide. Two of my budget asks are also consistent with my previously expressed support for the District of Columbia's Vision Zero initiative, an effort that we will hope brings our city to zero waste and zero fatalities and serious injuries to travelers of transportation systems throughout the effective use of data, education, enforcement, and engineering. This is especially important to note in light of the recent tragic loss of bike safety advocate Jim Pagels. In my budget letter, I requested that we maintain the near $120 million investment in the K Street Transitway to improve pedestrian and biker safety, introduce dedicated bus lanes, and help us to greatly reduce vehicular traffic and the resulting carbon emissions we see in our city. In closing, I would like to once again give thanks to all of the leadership here at the Citizens Association of Georgetown for holding this annual meeting and for your unwavering commitment to serve your neighbors and community. It is truly admirable, and I have really enjoyed partnering with you throughout the year. I want to express the immense joy that I feel every day in going to work on your behalf. As a graduate of the Georgetown Law School, and also as the sibling, daughter, and niece to many other Hoyas, I have always felt at home here in Ward 2, and serving the residents of Ward 2 is my absolute honor.
This has been an eventful year in our city with the pandemic, serious social justice issues, and a riot at the Capitol. Through it all, Mayor Muriel Bowser has provided thoughtful, calm, resolute leadership. I'm delighted that she made the time to be with us again tonight. We are now going live, so stay with us as Mayor Bowser joins our meeting. Thank you.